Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Closers, where we interview a top performing BDM in the property management space and learn how they are growing their business. Please help me welcome Angela Mckee, who has been with Innovative Property Solutions since June 8th of 2020. She actually used to be in a joint venture with another broker, and then they agreed to sell to Aaron, who then hired Angie as their BDM. So Angie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Drea. This is so exciting.
I am also very excited, I should say. I know that you're a powerhouse in the space, and I can't wait to dive further into that. But to begin, when we met Angie, her goal was to get more leads and close 15 doors a month. And with a little RentScale intervention, with our Scale Club coach, she helped her put together a realtor referral program. So Angie, would you like to tell us more about that situation and how that all has been going for you?
Absolutely. So it was so funny when we started with Aaron. He started with 7 closes. And I remember thinking, how in the world am I going to do that? Because in my career, I never had the opportunity to zero focus in on leads. So when RentScale and Kristen and I sat down and came up with this, we actually targeted 600 realtors in Jacksonville. And I think it was about 20 something offices. And we created and I have to give Kristen full props. She created the MailChimp for me. I sat on a Zoom while we did it together, but technically she showed me and we created this mail out campaign. From the campaign, we were able to utilize the LeadSimple and have an effective CRM database to be able to actually reach those that were interested. And then we could create that ongoing communication to build those relationships. Now, over a year and a year and a half later, we're seeing anywhere between 2 to 4 leads every week from realtors. We've been inside offices taking treats, and we're just growing. And so now we're also that 7. I bypassed the 7 a long time ago. I've been consistent at 10 to 14. Admittedly, I haven't reached the consistent 15, but I am confident we're going to see that in 2022.
That is awesome. That is a great feat. And obviously you guys are only progressing to that 15, which is good news. I mean, it's not going backwards and you're not just staying stagnant. So you are absolutely growing. I love that. Do you have any insight then, Angie, on how do you work your pipeline and add that consistency?
I work my pipeline every single day. And yes, so for me, I like to keep the pipeline anywhere between 22 to 14. So if it starts to drop below that 14, I get a little nervous and I'm making phone calls to realtors going, hey, don't forget about me, so that we can lift that back up. But also just kind of making sure that we're processing through those that are really good qualified referrals. And one of the greatest things that I found that RentScale was able to combo with LeadSimple was the automation. And so even today, as of today, I had 2 people that were in my nurture campaign, and the system automatically emails them, and I had a reply from both of them today, and we're already in negotiations for January. And had I not had that reliable source, I may have forgotten about those 2 leads. And if I had them in my normal pipeline, they would just be taking up space. So the fact that you can move them into a nurture campaign and they're being contacted, it's such a valuable benefit. And I literally, I can tell you at least 10 closes have come out of that nurture campaign of people that have consistently been hit with an email every month or every 3 months.
Amazing. I know, being at RentScale, I hear about this all the time. When we tell people that we can help them build out like a 16 touch point campaign, their biggest fear is they do not want to come off robotic and they want it to sound like it is coming from them. What is your experience with that, Angie?
It's not robotic, but I can take no credit. Aaron Cooper, who's our broker owner that you guys know so well, really worked with you guys. And at that time, it was Jason, and they created the emails, and then I helped create the videos. And then RentScale also had some additional, just recently, you guys had some additional automation that you had created that we absolutely signed up for and said, yes, put us in. So what we find is it is authentic because we helped create a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's targeted specifically to those that we know are in those nurturing. And it's just putting your face back in front of them, because if you don't put your face in front of them, they're going to forget you, and they're going to get a referral from somewhere else, or they're going to go back on Google and search because they forgot who you were.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you weren't memorable. It's just that that's human nature. So that automation truly is a great closer for those who are just not ready, or are still purchasing properties that, just haven't gotten to the place of being a valid prospect yet.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I'm actually loving that you led into this, Angie, is let's talk about being memorable. So I was talking to Angie just a little bit before, and one of her lead sources, in a way, is she has a list of offices that she goes to that do not have an in-house property management company, or in-house property manager, I should say. And so she shows up with the treats, as she mentioned earlier, and talks to whoever she needs to talk to at their next sales meeting, so that way she can get involved. But tell us, what is that other little snippet, Angie, that helps make you memorable?
So I think we all know that there's just some things we have to bring to the table. And so I bring my little man. He is literally a 2.5-pound mini chi, and he is a rescue. He is rescued from Fawn Small Pets. He is 11 years old now, and I've been fortunate to have him since February of 2020. And he is definitely a ladies' man. All of the realtors love to hold him and kiss him. And he's just also, like, if you're going through a stressful day, he's great to just pet. But he goes with me to the offices, and it's such a great icebreaker, because I don't even have to say hello when I walk into an office. They are literally talking to me when he's in my hands. So it's literally like that. It's just a great marriage, because you just walk right in and they're greeting you, and you're now not somebody invading their space. You're not taking their time, and they, how can I help you? And can I hold your dog? So so he is a great marketing tool, and he is not the only one in Jacksonville, Florida. We do have another young lady who I'm very good friends with, and she works for a title company, and she brings her dog, Tiggy. So Tiggy and Taquito, but we call Taquito Little Man to make it easier.
Thank you. Thank you for making that easier for me, for the fact that when she told me his name, I said, ooh, let me practice this. And then she said, you can call him Little Man. So thank you. But Angie, that is so important too. I really like what you had to say about it being an icebreaker. That's not something that I immediately thought about, but it's true. I can go to a coffee shop and work from a coffee shop, and you know how many people come up to me and want to talk because of my dog? I don't know them. And bringing that into a place of work that you want these people to talk to you, I love that idea of it being an icebreaker. But the other thing I'd like to lead into here is, how has your experience with RentScale, our training, and the Scale Club community, how has that impacted you, Angie? Because I know that you have been in Scale Club practically since the day it was born. And so I would love to hear it from you of what you've experienced so far.
So first of all, Jeremy needs to put my face on a poster and say, this is our poster child of success. Because I can tell you that back in June, when I was first introduced to this, and I've been doing sales since I was 17 years old, and I will tell you, I'm a couple of years from 50 now. So it's been a lot of years that I've been doing sales. So when this was introduced to me, it really kind of refocused me and challenged me against things I had been taught way back early 90s. And so things I had been raised in, and I had to change a lot of my thinking and a lot of my patterns. And at first I had that desire to resist. But once I sat down and would, remind myself the investment my broker was making into me, he deserved my full efforts. And when I put into practice the game plan that we would review and the skills and the new techniques, they were always successful. And I have to be 100% honest with you. I'm sitting here today with 160 doors in a year and a half closed, not because of my own ability, but because of what was poured into me through RentScale, specifically Delta Club with Kristen and the other ladies a part of Delta Club, because we all share ideas. And so there are some amazing ideas and amazing women in that group. And my success isn't just mine, it goes to them too. But I will tell you, for 2022, I'm ready to double those numbers. I'm ready to double the passion. I'm ready to double the fun. So, and it is because of what RentScale has done. So again, poster child right here for RentScale.
That is amazing. I honestly, I have the chills because of you talking about that. I mean, it's so empowering, right? And I just love that you as a BDM know that your boss is putting this investment into you and you're not going to let them down. I have that same mindset. So that's my goal, is to, like, you know what, this investment is happening. Every time we go to a conference, it's like, how am I not going to let Jeremy down? Right. So that's awesome. So thank you for that. The other thing that we can lead into there is, you not only are a BDM crushing in the space, Angie, but you also started a nonprofit for women in real estate. And you're also putting on an annual event, and it's called Women for Women. I know that you just had your first event. I know it was a success. Kristen came back telling us all about it. Do you want to let us know a little bit more from you?
Absolutely. And again, got to give props and credit to where they go. Kristen is the reason this idea birthed. When you guys started Edge, and I went to your Edge group, and I was like, I love this concept, but I want to take it a step further, because I knew I lacked in financial independence and in wisdom. I knew I lacked in certain emotional growth and development, and in professionalism that I needed in order to be everything I wanted. And so the idea came was, well, as a group, let's build together. So Women for Women in Real Estate, I got with Carly Mack with Heroes First Home Loan. She is active military. She's reservist. And I love the fact that we can say that we're military owned and woman owned. And then our other helper, Taylor Stafford, she works with J. Riley Williams title. She's the one with Tiggy. And the three of us kind of work together to create this atmosphere. And we had our first conference. We had 40 attendees, plus I think we had 10 vendors. And so we had sponsors, which made the event affordable. So even if you weren't a top salesperson, you didn't have to pay a whole lot to attend. It was $25. And we brought in some amazing powerhouse speakers. We had 3 speakers. One was Dr. April Murdaugh on finances. We had Dr. Levy on emotional health and wellness, teaching us how to breathe throughout the day, how to, when there's a stressful situation, not let us ruin the entire day, and so many other helpful tips. And then the last one we had coming in was Amy Morales, who talked to us about the women's brain development and how we can understand how we are developed a little bit differently. One of my favorite parts of that day was the resting brain of a woman and a man. When a woman rests, the picture of the woman's brain was still all lit up. She was still doing things. When the man was at rest watching TV or just sitting, there was literally nothing happening. So the next time your man says there's nothing he's thinking about, he is being honest with you. He is thinking of nothing.
So there you have it. It's so true. I have had to learn that throughout the years, because then, you know, of course, it's like, no, you can't literally be thinking about nothing, but we're just wired differently, and that's okay. And so I love that you are putting forth the effort to not only getting out there and doing what you need to do in order to be successful as a business development manager, but you're also going the extra mile. And even though this extra mile is more or less an opportunity to support the women in our space, it's still getting your name out there, Angie. It's still providing that face to the name. And obviously, then people will see all the great things that you're doing. And of course, having that trust coming from seeing what you are doing. And I love that you're doing that, because not many people know what to do, and not many people know how to start. And so I love that you just went out there and started it. The other thing that you were talking to me about earlier was the videos. Do you want to talk about the videos and how you used to think it was all about the likes, and now you're like, man, did I shoot myself in the foot? Explain more to us, Angie.
I did. I'm going to go backwards just a minute though and say, you know, when we talk about people not knowing where to start, honestly, it's the village. It seems to me that as soon as we get an idea, if we talk about it to people, there's somebody who shares that vision or a passion who may come alongside. And that's where the birth happens, because it's never just you. You know, even these amazing video series that you're doing for RentScale, it could have been your concept. We've never talked about that, but you had people that come alongside that pushed it. So every vision starts with somebody who says, I have an idea. And then it's like, you know, those that are meant to be a part of it just come alongside and make it happen. So I did want to share that one last piece. But to the videos. So again, going backwards to June and July of 2020 and all those back then, I remember Kristen and Jeremy trying to get me to do videos. And I just was like, I'm not photogenic. I'm not a video person. I don't know how to do this. And it took me forever to make my first videos. And I finally did it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And so now I don't do them as often as I should, just because I have other things that I'm focused on, but I love when I do them. However, when I would post them on social media, I never got likes. I mean, like one or two. And then I would be like, well, if they don't like them, I don't want to put them out there. And because we just had an amazing national conference and we had a speaker come talking about social media, and she was like, your content may not get a like. It doesn't mean people are not seeing it. So I stopped putting content because I had like maybe four to six likes on a video. And I just thought, well, that's just not enough to keep going. And she definitely refocused me to go, you know what? I don't care how many likes. I'm just going to keep consistent with that content and putting it out there. And, you know, if she's telling me she's the professional and this is what her research shows, I'm going to listen to the person who knows her stuff, and I'm going to follow in her shoes. And I also am so happy to know I don't have to do TikTok. And I love that I can focus on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, those three, because I am not a TikToker, but I do the Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and those three seem to work very nicely.
That's awesome. It is very important, just as we learned through our lead gen boot camp with RentScale 2 weeks ago already. Man, time flies when you're having fun. But what we learned from there is you need to find the platform that you're most comfortable with and stick to it. That could be 3, that could be 1, that could be TikTok only. TikTok is not my thing. But I also can agree with you, Angie, the fact that you put a video out there and it may not get a ton of likes, but man, the internet is a worldwide thing to where it's out there and it's going to be seen one way or another. The nice thing for me is that I learned from people that I talk to in person at these conferences. They're like, I love seeing your stuff on Facebook. I watch it all the time. And I'm like, I didn't even know you were on Facebook. But that also proved to me that people see it without even liking it. So likes really don't matter a whole lot. I'm sure there's something to it. I just don't know what it is. So I'm very encouraged for you that you had the speaker to be able to encourage you to keep doing videos, because that's great content to put out there, whether you're getting the likes or not. But Angie, to wrap it up here, do you have any last recommendations for any ambiguous or ambition? Let me restart so they can edit this out. Do you have any last recommendations for any ambitious property management BDMs?
Absolutely. You know, it was funny because I was talking with LeadSimple, and their booth was very close to yours at National. And I was explaining it really is somewhat of a triple threat. And what makes me successful is because I have RentScale and you guys helping me get that material out there. And then LeadSimple helps me to kind of organize it and stay on top of those prospects to get to the close. And then I have Calendly, which I will actually say is kind of that quiet partner that people don't realize. When you send a video with your link to your calendar to set a meeting saying, hey, let's chat, those three things have truly been the triple threat that I'd have to say are that help me to be successful, because it helps me to get the lead, go after the lead, and then follow up and stay in touch that way. So honestly, any company that has a business development manager that's not utilizing RentScale, that's not getting the benefit of that education to their BDM to push them to those next levels, I feel like there is a little bit that they're lacking, because you guys put together and offer so many different ideas and tools that can be used in conjunction in order to bring them maximum success. And I absolutely adore you guys. I have to share my success with you. I can't take credit for myself. It has been a team effort. And then my broker, I do have to give shout out to Aaron Cooper and all of our team members at Innovative Property Solutions. I couldn't do effectively if I didn't have a team on the inside when I onboard and hand it off, and the way our team works together. And Aaron really has created an amazing property management company, and it's a community, and we focus in on our customers, on our tenants, our clients, and we truly want to be their business partner when it comes to investing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angie. We so appreciate all of your thankfulness and your gratefulness. And we are equally grateful and thankful for you too, because we get to talk to people like you on a daily basis, and you also inspire us to do what we need to do and to motivate us to be able to share all of the nuggets to help you be successful as well. So we appreciate the collaboration from you, and the fact that you just bring a smile to our face all the time. So thank you, Angie, so much. I appreciate you, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I feel this conversation should have been all about Angie, but Angie made it all about those who have helped her achieve the success that she is experiencing today. It is amazing to hear about where it all started. When she's sitting there saying 7 closes seemed unattainable at first, and now she's bringing in a consistent 10 to 14 doors a month, well on her way to that consistent 15. Working on the pipeline every single day, making sure that her pipeline is full, but not just full with any leads, full with qualified leads with owners that they want to work with. And really being able to rely on that resource between LeadSimple and the collaboration of RentScale to build out that campaign, having a touch point for that lead from the time they come in to the time that they close. And they are not robotic touch points. It is your language going out to those customers, making the responses as humanized as possible, but creating that efficiency. A great closer for those who are not yet a valid prospect or not ready yet. And also, it is important to remember to be memorable. And her bringing her pet, little man, think about that. It is such a great icebreaker. And Angie really has been in Scale Club, and like I said, since the day it was born. She is the poster child of success. And back in June of 2020, she has been doing sales since she was 17. So sales isn't something that she is foreign to. But when she was introduced to RentScale, it challenged her to refocus and make some changes. And the investment that you are willing to put into your BDM and their education will give you that return on investment that you are looking for. And you heard it straight from Angie herself. She brought on or closed the 160 doors, and not just because of her own ability, but because of RentScale and the other BDMs in her Scale Club group. That mastermind of a community really being able to help give all of their brilliant ideas and help and share their successes with each other, really creating that motivated circle to keep going. And not only is she working for her day job, but she's also putting on women to women events who are going to empower women in real estate. And how do you start? Every vision starts with an idea, and those who are meant to be part of it will find their way to help make it happen. I loved what she had to say about that. And then also to add into her final words of wisdom, utilizing the triple threat. She's
talking about LeadSimple, RentScale, and Calendly, helping her to be successful from the moment she gets the lead. She's able then to go after the lead and follow up and stay in touch. Invest in your BDM's education for ultimate success.